Had always believed that ordinary days stayed ordinary, until the afternoon a frightened stranger looked straight into my eyes, stepped close enough for me to hear her trembling breath, and whispered 5 words that changed the course of my life forever. Everything inside me told me to keep walking. I had errands to finish, bills waiting at home, and enough worries of my own. But there was something in her expression that couldn't be ignored. It wasn't panic alone. It was the desperate hope that the person standing in front of her would choose kindness over convenience. Before we continue, if you believe that one act of kindness can change someone's life and that everyone deserves a second chance, please take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who believes in compassion, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps us tell more heartfelt stories like this one. The city was wrapped in the pale light of a cold autumn evening. People hurried past with their heads down, lost in their own worlds. No one noticed the fear hidden behind her forced smile. I did. And before I had time to think, I nodded as though we had known each other for years. What happened over the next few minutes felt almost unreal. I greeted her warmly, smiled as naturally as I could, and started walking beside her. Without looking back, I sensed someone watching us from across the street. Whoever it was stopped following after seeing us together. Only after we had turned the corner did she finally breathe again. Tears filled her eyes, not loud, dramatic tears, but the quiet kind that come after holding fear inside for far too long. She admitted that she had noticed someone following her for several blocks. She didn't know whether his intentions were dangerous, but every instinct she had told her not to find out. When she saw me standing alone outside the cafe, I happened to look like someone safe enough to trust. That single decision, to trust a stranger, became the beginning of an unexpected friendship. Over coffee, she slowly told me about the difficult year she had endured. She had lost her mother after a long illness, fallen behind on rent while caring for her, and eventually lost both her apartment and the job she loved. Every setback made the next one harder, until she no longer believed life could surprise her in a good way. Listening to her reminded me how easy it is to judge people without knowing the battles they fight every day. I had spent months feeling sorry for myself after losing a promotion at work, convinced life had treated me unfairly. Yet across the table sat someone who had lost almost everything and still found the strength to smile through tears. Over the following weeks, we stayed in touch. Sometimes all she needed was someone to help rewrite a resume. Other days she simply needed another human being to remind her she wasn't invisible. Helping her never felt like a burden. Strangely, it helped me heal too. The more I focused on lifting someone else, the lighter my own heart became. She eventually found a modest apartment, then a new job at a neighborhood bookstore. The pay wasn't remarkable, but she loved being surrounded by stories that reminded people hope could survive impossible odds. Months passed, and our friendship grew stronger. We celebrated small victories instead of waiting for perfect endings. We discovered that healing rarely arrives all at once. It comes quietly, hidden inside ordinary afternoons, shared meals, unexpected phone calls, and people who choose to stay when leaving would be easier. One snowy evening, she handed me a small envelope. Inside was a photograph taken by the cafe owner on the day we first met. We were both smiling, though neither of us remembered the picture being taken. On the back she had written that one stranger's kindness had given her another chance at life. Reading those words, I realized the gift had never belonged to only one of us. I had thought I was rescuing someone else. In reality, she had rescued me from becoming the kind of person who walks past suffering without looking up. Years later, people still ask how we met. They expect an exciting story or an unbelievable coincidence. I simply tell them that sometimes life whispers instead of shouting, and if you're paying attention, those whispers can change everything. If this story has touched your heart so far, please take a moment to like the video, share it with someone who needs hope today, subscribe to the channel, and let us know your thoughts. Your support encourages us to keep sharing stories that remind the world kindness still exists. Special request: before you leave, please comment with the words, "Kindness changes lives," if you believe even a single compassionate decision can create a ripple that lasts forever. As I look back now, I no longer remember the deadlines I was rushing toward that day or the errands I thought were so important. I remember only the frightened whisper that stopped me in my tracks and the choice that followed. Life rarely announces its greatest moments with certainty. Sometimes they arrive disguised as interruptions, asking nothing more than a little courage and a little compassion. The greatest changes often begin with the smallest acts of kindness, and the people we help today may become the very reason we believe in tomorrow.